Happy to answer anything I can for you. Okay, so that's expired cancel. I'm going to move on to buyers. If I go to buyers, I'm going to come over to the search icon and come to listing. I'm going to come back to listing modern. Again, you can do this in classic. I'm just doing it modern. I actually like modern search. I'm going to do it from residential rental. So I want to find, if I'm going to look for buyers, I'm going to find them through the renters, because right now renters, like we told before, are for different reasons. Can't, your credit's bad, don't have enough saved. Two, they're reloads, things like that. They don't know the area, so they're not willing to do that yet. And sometimes renters are just renters. They're just lifelong renters. They'd rather rent than anything else. But worst case scenario for me is if you ever get a renter, they're still going to rent. They're going to rent again. For this, again, you just pick your area. I'm going to pick an area that has a little bit higher rental use because DeKalb does not actually do that. So let's go area. Let's go Schaumburg. Actually, let's go Geneva. Now with this, again, there are some fields that are probably missing on your list. Such as if I want to find renters, the thing that I'm going to need to know is when did they rent, essentially, because I need to mark it based on that. If I come in here, again, I'm just going to come into date. I have rented date. And again, if I move that down, we'll put it right under status for this one. Save changes. I have rented date. Now, I don't want to do February of 2019 because the way most rental contracts is they're written for a year. Now, we don't know. What we won't know by doing this is we won't know, is it a 6 month, a month to month, a 2 year, a 3 year contract? We won't know that. But most contracts are typically 1 year. And most contracts, the way they're written is they got to give the landlord at least 2 months notice that they're going to move out. So they give them, the landlord, opportunity to start marketing the property properly. With that being said, that means I want to look at least no later than 10 months ago. Some folks will choose to go after them a little bit earlier, because when they do that, they give themselves the opportunity to start helping them if they have reasons why they're renting. Right? If they're reloads, they might be already exploring the area, but if they're a credit challenge or a savings challenge one, you might be able to help them out, team them up with a mortgage or team up with somebody and get that strategy out in place. So what I'm going to do is just come out here and say 6 months ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to say first to 2 months to that to 10 months ago. Or no, I just flipped that the wrong way. Sorry, it's a Saturday. Oh, I could do it this way. I still flipped that. That needs to be here. Sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 31st to 1, 2. We'll move this to 2018. We'll say that. That's more than I want to. Either way, we're just going to use that number for now. My math is not working today. Come out here and use that data. And now when I come out here, I say list. And then I have all the folks. Oh, I didn't want active. Come out here. I want to change the status to rented. That's right. Okay, that's right. I come out here to that. I have it. I want to make sure my months are long enough. So if I do months back in my search, I just usually say all months. Because again, remember, some of these things are going to be a little bit longer than what we have set up. I have the listings out there, and that number's still wrong. I have the data. Now, for me, these are lists. What I won't know is I won't know the terms. I can't possibly know the terms. But what you'll start seeing on some of these is that the price point for renting and the area that you're at may not equate out. So for instance, these under thousands may not work in the area that you're trying to market to. So maybe what I'd want to do is come back to my search at a rental price of say $1,200 and then take that list. Now, again, I'm going to want to export that out, but in this situation, what I want to do is be able to export this out so I can easily send mailers, easily go market to, go do what I need to do in the area. And I do have one here. It says mailer. All right. So now I have street name, unit number, zip code, right? All I'd have to do is add Illinois as a field in my spreadsheet, and it's there. And again, all that is under the modify. Is there a way to call these renters expired cancels? I've had a client tell me they get a lot of phone calls once their listing expires. So as far as renters goes, it's tough to do that because the address you're going to get the information on is based on the landlord. But as far as expired cancels go, there are tools like RedX and LandVoice that if you spend money, I'm going to show you here in a second, Remind as well, but Remind's phone numbers have been a little dated lately. But when you come in there, you actually have the tools available to you like RedX and LandVoice that will actually you export data out, you give it 15 minutes or so depending on the size of the export, and it will give you all the information, owner names or owner phone numbers, contact info, and all that stuff's in there, and the phone numbers in there with the appropriate tags if they are if those phone numbers, contact information is part of the DNC. They're both right around $45-50 last time I checked in pricing. They're out there. I do have links on the portal's landing page. So if you see them, you can go there and you can go link to them and pull them up if you don't remember the terms. But those are the ways that happens. Remind does have some of those phone numbers. We're going to show that here in a little bit. But the challenge with that becomes right now what we're finding is some of those numbers, and depending on the area, some areas aren't too bad, but many areas have dated numbers. They're not numbers in use anymore. So again, then I would export the data out. Now, when you do this and you're looking for the renters, you're going to have to kind of figure out how you're going to do this, how you're going to work with them. You're going to look for the buyers or just trying to get them rented again. You're going to want to figure out what that looks like and what you're doing with this. I would recommend partnering with somebody that can help you give the financial advantages for becoming a buyer and not a renter. Also have to understand the mindset these days. A lot of folks in here for renting, the mindset is they'd rather have experiences than a home. And that becomes a tough one to fight. Not that it's impossible, but that becomes a challenge.